pure natural cottage cheese. Only Daisy cottage cheese will do.
So tasty, so pure. Can I have a little more? Only Daisy cottage cheese.
It's all about courage.
Tomorrow on ET, we're with Celine Dion ahead of her documentary debut, the latest on her health battle and musical comeback.
All right, we leave you now with another honor for the one and only Dick Van Dyke. Who's the guy?
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
I'm 98 years old.
Happening now.
An inmate at the Bexar County Jail dead. His family now suing 2 detention deputies in federal court. We have video from the fateful moments leading up to the death of Emmanuel Mora.
My focus is on the rainfall potential in the coming days, when we're expecting it to arrive, how long it's going to last, and how much we could get. See you in a bit.
If you have young children in the house, you probably have a lot of these baby wipes. But do you know what chemicals might be in them? Coming up, what to look for when you buy. The News at 5 starts right now.
And we're starting with some breaking news from the northeast side.
The Bexar County Medical Examiner says that a body that was found in the Salado Creek Greenway was a missing person from Missouri. Jarvis McIntyre's body found Friday in the creek just off the Greenway. Now, when we got this information, San Antonio police confirmed there was a call made to the area where McIntyre's body was found a few days prior about an individual being chased by a man with a rifle.
Now, officers never found that caller or any witnesses. An autopsy has been performed. Still no concrete cause of death, but foul play is not suspected right now. The death of a man in the process of getting booked on drug charges, now the center of a lawsuit against the county.
Now, Emmanuel Mora died after some sort of medical episode. It was caught on video at the Bexar County Jail. His family's attorney says it was drug-related.
Garrett Berger with that video and what the family says deputies did wrong.
Video from inside the jail shows Emmanuel Mora going through the intake process in a seemingly normal manner on August 27th. But at some point, that changes. The body camera video from 2 Special Emergency Response Team, or CERT deputies, shows Mora shouting and seemingly delirious. They take him to the ground and use a taser.
Hands on your back, you're gonna get it again!
For a while, he's back on the bench, but still talking.
If he keeps it up, we're just gonna put him on the prone and sit on him.
According to a custodial death report, Mora got 2 doses of Narcan, which they wrote appeared to have no effect. Knots seem to show Mora being physical around this time, though he is loud. And his family's lawsuit focuses on what happens when the deputies took him to the ground again.
No!
They got tired of hearing him, so they decided to put him in what's called the prone position, or where I'm from, the hog tie position, where they pull his legs up and pull his arms up and squeeze all of the air out of his lungs. And they did that because they were tired of hearing him shout, "Stop it, behave."
Dan Packard said the position in which deputies put Mora constitutes lethal force.
So you can just see exactly what he's doing. He's sitting on top of him, lifting his arms up.
Mora remains face down with his feet up and a deputy on top of him for more than 3 minutes. KSAT is not showing the moment at which deputies tried to sit him up and found him unresponsive. The custodial death report lists coke and meth intoxication as the cause of death, though physical struggle and police restraint were also listed as significant conditions. Packard says the official investigation into Mora's death is still underway.
So why are you filing now rather than waiting to see if they charge them?
Well, because we've waited long enough, and I have a duty to the family to keep things moving, and that's why we filed when we did.
Okay, and I think if it doesn't go up till tomorrow, that's not the end of the world.
Comment referring us to the DA's office, which has not given us a ring back yet.
All right, thank you, Garrett. His son charged with murder. He's accused of helping with the bodies. Bond reduction denied for Ramon Preciado, the 54-year-old arrested earlier this year in connection to the deaths of Savannah Soto and Matthew Guerra. His bond will stay at $450,000 despite his attorney's argument that the amount was excessive and what Preciado would, quote, deteriorate behind bars. His son, Christopher, charged with killing Soto and Guerra in December. Christopher's mother and Ramon are each accused of helping their son conceal the bodies after the murders.
In court, a Grizzly murder case goes to trial at the Justice Center. Prosecutors allege it is a case of brutal retaliation. Andres Tarnava, accused of not only shooting and killing his ex-girlfriend, but of chopping her up and burning her body parts in barrels. All that allegedly because he thought the 49-year-old Marisol Klingelhofer had stolen some of his dead father's belongings. The case, dating back to 2021, goes to trial tomorrow. We will be live streaming this on KSAT. If found guilty, Tarnava could face the rest of his life behind bars. It might be calm now, but
all right, we're going to switch over to weather right now.
all right, Adam Caskey standing by with a big change in our forecast.
A lot of rain. We're not talking about a little bit of rain, Adam. I hope we're talking about a lot of rain.
Yeah, we're going to have some drought denting rain on the way, and for some communities could even be considered drought busting. It depends on exactly how deep into drought you are. But you look at our rain chances, and today, this afternoon and evening, 20% chance of, one of those straight pop-up showers. But we get to tomorrow, or I should say Wednesday, and that's up to 70%. You're not going to wake up to heavy rain on Wednesday, but by the midday or early afternoon, it's really going to start to ramp up. So we could have some potential commute issues Wednesday on the way home from work and school. And into Thursday, still, we think, fairly widespread rain, but it starts to taper off later in the day. And then we could just have some extra pop-up scattered activity on Friday. This is what we like to see. It's a tropical system that's down in the southern Gulf of Mexico, and it is flagged by the National Hurricane Center. We do have a path for that potential tropical storm. I'll get into the latest with that and why that path doesn't even really mean that much to us right now. It's all about the impact, talking about the impacts in just a bit.
All right, thank you, Adam. Let's go live outside right now. Let's go to I-10 in Woodlawn. And they have been working on the upper level of I-10 westbound for a while now. Now they have it down to just one lane. Again, this is I-10 at Woodlawn, the upper deck there. You can see construction ongoing, and that's why traffic is backed up, because it's just one lane through here. We have learned the name of the two people that died in that mass shooting at a Juneteenth concert in Round Rock over the weekend. 33-year-old Lindsay Vickner and 54-year-old Era Duke shot and killed at that concert Saturday night when an argument between two groups of people turned violent. Neither of those victims were involved in that argument, but were bystanders just enjoying the festivities. 14 others hurt in that violence, including children. Round Rock police have confirmed one suspect still on the run tonight. When the school year ended for SAISD students a few weeks ago, it also meant the end of an era for many SAISD campuses. 12 campuses have been eliminated in the district's right-sizing plan, and now district leaders are turning to the community for input on what to do with all those vacant buildings.
If you send the information and you have an idea, you might not have the resources, but we're looking for those ideas. And then we can bring people together, match people up to do better projects, so we can have significant changes and the best value, the best use for some of these facilities.
The district's repurposing panel is meeting once a month to try and plan out the next steps for these buildings. If you have ideas, the district encourages you to reach out. We can help scan that QR code on the bottom of your screen. It's going to take you right to our web story with a link to send the district your ideas and a schedule for future meetings. The Republican National Convention quickly approaching. It starts July 15th in Milwaukee, a key swing state, Wisconsin.
But Washington correspondent Julie Benbrook reports allegations that the former president, Donald Trump, slammed the city in a closed-door meeting are getting the headlines. Allegations he and others in the meeting deny.
After reports surfaced that Donald Trump referred to Milwaukee, the host city of the upcoming Republican National Convention, as a horrible city, several Republicans tried to clarify the former president's comments.
He wasn't talking about the city. He was talking about specific issues in the city.
Others in the closed-door meeting said they didn't hear it.
We got asked it after the meeting, and I was like, I never heard this once, so I'm not understanding where this is even coming from.
But Democrats are seizing on the reported remarks. The Democratic National Committee responded by launching 10 billboards across the city featuring Trump's quote. And President Joe Biden took to social media writing, "I happen to love Milwaukee." Republicans selected Milwaukee to host their national convention, which starts July 15th.
This is a great place, and the former president and every Republican who will have the chance to come to our great city, they'll see that when they're here on the ground in Milwaukee for the convention.
Milwaukee Mayor Democrat Cavalier Johnson said that insulting the home of tens of thousands of Republicans in Wisconsin could be politically costly for the former president as he seeks another 4 years in the White House.
When it's in a state that's decided on a razor's edge, that may ultimately cost Donald Trump the election.
Wisconsin will no doubt be an important state in November. Polls show these two candidates in a neck-and-neck race there. Back in 2020, Biden won Wisconsin by about 21,000 votes. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
And while all of that unfolds, the highly debated debate is going forward. Both President Biden and former President Trump have hammered out the details for next month's head-to-head matchup. Biden and Trump scheduled to verbally duke it out in the first televised debate on June 27th on CNN. Terms of the debate include microphone muting in an effort to limit how much each candidate can interrupt the other candidate. Also, the pair are going to debate behind closed doors. There'll be no audience, just the candidates and the moderators inside a television studio. By the way, KSAT 12 will be broadcasting the second presidential debate. That happens on September 10th. The Bexar County District Attorney's Office says it's taking a critical look at a harassment case that ended in a not guilty verdict this spring. A woman who recorded audio of her then husband threatening her said prosecutors were unprepared for the trial and failed to get the disturbing recordings entered into evidence. Those tapes, part of the reason San Antonio police issued a warrant for the arrest of Juan Hernandez Barrios. On those tapes, Barrios can be heard making disturbing comments to his then wife during a property dispute. But a judge found him not guilty shortly after ruling that the tapes could not be used at trial. Hernandez Barrios admitted to making the comments after enduring a messy divorce for 2 years.
I've been living to hell. I got PTSD, I got depression, I got anxiety, and she knows this.
Next at 6 o'clock, KSAT investigates the woman's complaints about the justice system and why she believes victims are not being protected. Baby wipes are used for all kinds of things these days. They're so convenient, but did you know might be something in them you need to know about? Marilyn Moritz breaks down the ingredients and what you should and should not do with your baby wipes.
And pet parents, listen up. A major insurance provider dropping thousands of pets from its coverage. Why they're doing it and who it's going to affect. Next.
I'm Myra Arthur with a look at what we're working on for the news at 6 o'clock today. The former head of a local mental health center was accused of sexually assaulting a child, but he's no stranger to the law. What we found out about his criminal history that now has some wondering how he got hired in the first place. Is it the heat or type 1 diabetes? These summer temperatures can mask the signs of that disease, one of them being extreme thirst. At 6 o'clock, a young patient tells us about her symptoms and why it's so important to catch them early. All that and more today on the news at 6.
Thank you, Myra. Calling all Nationwide insurance customers. If you have an insurance policy for your pet, it might be getting dropped soon. Nationwide dropping 100,000 pet insurance policies because of high vet costs. Tens of thousands of owners are now in limbo as many of these animals losing coverage are older or have pre-existing conditions, which means they might not be eligible to be insured with other companies. Nationwide says impacted customers will be notified by writing.
If changing diapers is part of your routine, you probably go through a lot of baby wipes. They are convenient, but how much do you know about what's in them? 12 Your Size Marilyn Moritz takes a look at the ingredients touching your baby's sensitive skin and why you should never, ever leave baby wipes inside your car.
If you have small children, you probably have baby wipes everywhere.
My diaper bag, my kitchen, in both kids' rooms by the change stations and in the car.
Whether you use wipes for diaper changes, removing makeup, or cleaning sticky fingers, you want them to be safe. So Consumer Reports teamed up with Made Safe to investigate the list of ingredients. Of 15 brands they looked at, 7 had what they called concerning or unclear ingredients.
These wipes contain potentially harmful chemicals, including some that may be linked to cancer risks. Many are made from plastics that don't break down in the environment.
And some have a low pH balance, which might irritate skin. CR contacted the companies. Coterie and Costco said they use very small amounts of certain chemicals as preservatives or skin conditioning agents. Pampers said their ingredients undergo rigorous safety testing. CR says some better biodegradable wipes that aren't too expensive include Healthy Baby, The Honest Company, Kaboo, and Water Wipes. When shopping, they suggest avoiding potentially harmful chemicals. Go for biodegradables and fragrance-free. As for storing wipes,
Heating them in a wipe warmer may seem like a good idea, but it can be a breeding ground for bacteria.
the FDA says temperature extremes, like hot cars, can break down preservatives and allow bacteria and mold to grow faster.
And don't flush them, even if it says flushable. Consumer Report says don't do it. It's the best way to avoid a plumbing clog. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
All right, let's take a live look outside. 98 degrees out there, but look at those clouds building. Perhaps are they building to something big, Adam Caskey?
Well, eventually they're going to build into some rain. Yes, those will be separate clouds, though, coming in from the Gulf of Mexico. You look at authority radar at the moment, not a whole lot going on locally around here, and we'll even get the animation going. We've had a few of these streamer showers, your typical coastal afternoon showers, making it as far as Lavaca County, DeWitt County as well, but nothing of consequence or really not even inconvenient to travel. What we're focusing on is still this area of it's really a cluster of thunderstorms down over the southern Gulf of Mexico, Bay of Campeche here. This is just, the west side of the Yucatan Peninsula. And this is the cluster of storms that actually stretches all the way north into the central Gulf of Mexico. And it's this north end that's likely to greet us Wednesday into Thursday. Honestly, any development around here where the actual center of circulation would be isn't going to change our impacts at all for our area. So National Hurricane Center, of course, has it flagged, and they'll probably give it a name. I believe that would be Alberto. So now it's potential tropical cyclone. I mean, aren't they all, right, when they're a cluster of thunderstorms? Anyway, that's just semantics, but notice it'd be a low-end system with maximum winds around 45 miles per hour. So bottom line here, even if or when this gets a name and has a title, tropical storm, and has a name, the impacts are no different for us here in Texas. It's going to be a rain event for us, and that's going to start about midday Wednesday because we have a big plume of moisture in the central Gulf that's going to be moving in, and it's going to have a lot of upper level support as well. So it's very saturated air mass from the ground all the way up to 30,000 feet, which means high rainfall potential and flash flooding potential as well. So some street flooding, a possibility with this system, especially late Wednesday and early Thursday. Notice how the brunt of the moisture moves into West Texas by Thursday afternoon. We'll just have a little bit of light activity. So most of it, I'd say midday Wednesday all the way on into late Thursday is when we'll have most of it. Notice the rainfall potential, and it's a pretty big range here because it still depends on exactly where the heaviest downpour is set up and where they decide to move. But there really is the potential of 3 to 7 inches of rain around San Antonio and then east of I-37, between I-37 and I-10, especially along the coast. But even here, we could be looking at some neighborhoods of 3 to 7 inches. So tropical rain, big downpours, and some heavy rain Wednesday and Thursday, heavy at times, so some street flooding possible starting for the Wednesday evening commute. You're not going to wake up to this on Wednesday. Wednesday evening on through Thursday with that potential for 3 to 7 inches for many neighborhoods. Weather watchers right now, upper 90s, near 100, Del Rio 102, Eagle Pass 100, Mico 101, and Schertz 98. Tomorrow will be 93 again for the high temperature, 20% chance of a few showers and storms, but those chances rise significantly Wednesday, Thursday. We'll talk more about that along with that tropical storm watch for the coast coming up at 6.
Forecast. Thank you.
I know, look at that, 70-80% rain chances.
In the middle of the summer.
I'll take it. All right. Game 5 tonight. Boston wins. It's over.
It is over. Dallas wins. They live to see another day.
It's interesting.
It is interesting indeed. Game 5 tonight. Kyrie Irving needs to have a big game for the Mavs to live to see another day. And the Steel Knights going through some off-season conditioning coming up.
I'm playing, I'm fine, so no worries.
Luka Doncic is playing through the pain of multiple nagging injuries on game day. All right, the Dallas Mavericks fought off one must-win game in the NBA Finals, and tonight they will try to keep their season alive in Game 5 on the road. Guard Kyrie Irving struggled in Games 1 and 2 in Boston, combining for 28 points. He came alive in Games 3 and 4 back at home with a total of 56 points, and tonight he will need to have another big game in Boston in front of fans that once cheered for him.
Change a few things up, be prepared for what I'm getting myself into. My teammates, most importantly. And not making this about me or getting into the energy with anyone else other than my teammates.
I think we're ready for Game 5. I think that's the best answer that I got. I think that we're ready. We're at home, and we're looking forward to it.
Game 5 is tonight at 7:30 here on KSAT 12. Boston is looking to wrap up its 18th championship. We are less than 75 days away from kickoff of the high school football season, and the Steel Knights were holding a conditioning camp this morning. More than 350 students from multiple sports were out at the high school bright and early. The Knights football team will look to make it back to the state semifinal game this season, and hopefully more than that. And head coach David Sines shared what he wants to get out of these conditioning workouts.
Yeah, we just want to maintain, what we did, in the spring when it comes to our spring ball and to the weight room. And we just want to make sure that we're maintaining our strength. And when we do start our fall camp, that we're in shape when we come back. So, and, the other important thing is to make sure we stay acclimatized to the heat. When we come back in August, it's going to be pretty hot.
The competition is also heating up this offseason with multiple starting spots on both sides of the ball up for grabs. This time is great for Coach Sines to get his coaching staff acclimated to the grind of the upcoming season.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, coming out here and getting the coaches back used to the heat and acclimatized. But love to give our staff. They work 7 days a week all the way until Christmas break, and it's always great to give them 2 to 3 weeks off. But it's good to have the kids back and have the coaches back. And I know we're excited about this upcoming football season.
The Knights' first game of the season will be at home on August 30th against Liberty Hill. It's going to be here before we know it.
I know when you said August, I'm like, wait. That's not that far away.
It's not that far.
Yeah. Thanks, Larry.
We'll be right back.
All right, we like to see these rain chances pretty high Wednesday and Thursday. Keep in mind, some of the rain will be heavy at times. This is going to be some drought denting, and for some locations, you could even argue drought busting rain, depending on how deep into drought you are. We'll take a closer look at the other impacts even potentially along the Texas coast. But despite having a name for this system, it's all about rainfall for us around here and in Texas.
Definitely.
It looks good to me. Keep it safe, though. Thanks for watching the news at 5.
See you back here at 6. World News is up next.